Hello students, welcome to Disha. We are powered by the Sarat Chandra IAS Academy. In Disha program, we are teaching and educating the young minds of our country about various different things. In this series, today's video is about the environment of India. So we'll be dealing with the environment conservation, environment legislations, and the diversity of environment in India. Alright, so let's start. Three things. Keeping environment in the center. Keeping environment in the center. We are dealing with three things here. First of all, what is environment? What is the state of environment in India? All right, what is the legislations related to environment? And what is the major issues faced by the environment? Okay, we'll also be talking about a way forward for protection of environment in India. So first of all, we need to see and learn what is environment. So environment is the immediate surrounding of anything that is living or non-living in an ecosystem. So environment and ecology are very much related. So let's say this is Earth, this is region, this is a country or whatever. Okay, so people are living here. Now, whatever is around them, whether it is the air, whether it is the water, whether it is the trees, whether it is the noise, okay, everything that surrounds them is environment. So let us see how to not pollute this environment. What is the major issues faced by this? We'll start out with the legislative things. So what laws exist in India regarding the environment? What acts? Okay, because everything India does is based upon these acts. All right, so let's start. One is the major is the EPA, that is Environmental Protection Act of 1986. 1986. So within 40 years of Indian independence, India realized that it needs to protect its environment, and according to the UN conventions, okay, it started acting out and made the EPA, designed the EPA. The next one we come across is the Wildlife Protection Act. The Wildlife Protection Act, WPA. So all the wildlife that India has is protected as per the WPA. 1972. It was in 1972, and especially related to big animals, let's say elephants, tigers, lions. Recently we talked about the cheetah also in the Kuno. Okay. So cheetah relocation project was also we talked about. All right. Next one is the Forest Conservation Act. The Forest Conservation Act. And this was enacted in 1980. Okay. So all these are related to environment only. Environment can be of various types. We have the air, we have water to protect, we have wildlife to protect, we have forest to protect. Okay, we have soil to protect, we have noise to protect. Noise, not to protect, actually to get rid of. We want a silent environment. All right, so multiple different things. Other things that India is following as per the international convocations are Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement is on climate change. We talked about it very much. It aims to reduce the temperature, global temperature by 2 degrees Celsius, or actually not, let's say, not let it rise above the 2 degrees Celsius mark from pre-industrial levels. Okay, this was our Paris Climate Change Agreement of 2015. There is also CBD, Conservation on Biological Diversity. Okay, this also India is following. So India has been following many laws and acts, whether it is national or international, about protection of the environment. So now we know what is environment and how we are protecting the environment. Now let us talk about the major issues faced by the environment. So first of all, let us talk about the air. Let's start with the air. Okay, so air, as we know, is the gaseous medium that surrounds us. It's made up of nitrogen, mainly nitrogen. Then we have the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and trace elements, other trace gases. Okay, majorly it is nitrogen, above 70%. So what we see that this gas is getting polluted by various different pollutants. Pollutants can be of two types, whether they are of nature qualitative or quantitative. So what is qualitative? Qualitative means if this is present even in trace amounts, it will be a pollutant. Okay, let's say we have water, we have water here, or salty water here, salt water here. Okay, so if the salt concentration is okay, then we can say the water is okay. But if the salt concentration increases by a fair bit, then this water will be unusable. We'll be calling it polluted water because the salt is now very much in quantity. So this is quantitative. Okay, but now if we mix even a single drop of paint in this, then it will be qualitative pollutant because it will completely reduce the quality of the water. Alright, so it will be qualitative pollutant. So we have various different pollutants regarding the air, such as the vehicular emissions, the vehicular emissions. We have industrial discharges and construction dust also. And we recently talked about the nitrogen, okay, NO2, N2O. So this is the greenhouse gas. This causes acid rain. The vehicular emissions causes sulfur. Okay, SO2. This also causes acid rain, etc. So they cause respiratory disease, cardiovascular issues, multiple issues in the people. So how we are dealing with this is government initiatives such as NCAP, National Clean Air Project. Okay, so this aims to reduce PM 2.5, particulate matter of 2.5 degree and PM 10 levels. PM 10 levels. So it's aimed to reduce these. And also we are promoting the electric vehicles as well as public transportation. Public transportation. All right. Next we talk about the water pollution. All right. Just a second. Okay. So next we talk about the water pollution. So nobody would want their water polluted because this is potable water. We want to drink fresh water. We want to drink fresh water. But how we are polluting water? By industrial discharge, by using detergents in the open freshwater river systems. Okay, so these are multiple ways of pollution in the water. Industrial effluents, untreated sewage, untreated sewage waste. Okay, agricultural runoff, multiple fertilizers we are putting, right? For production of crops. So where do all these fertilizers go? They go in water. Eventually, these go in rivers. So because of these, water is getting polluted because of pesticides, because of fertilizer, because of multiple different things. Okay, even the microplastics is a burning issue right now. Microplastics. So recently they were found in the Yamuna river, Yamuna water, and eventually they go into the oceans. In oceans, they undergo a process named as bioaccumulation, in which the microplastics accumulate in the fishes. All right. So when they accumulate in their bodies, they eventually die. And it causes the death of multiple organisms in the water. All right, next one, let us talk about. So next we'll be talking about the deforestation and loss of biodiversity. All right, so deforestation first of all. So India has a great amount of forests, and these forests are classified as various different categories. So there are trees, there are shrubs, okay, tree covers, there are herbs, and there are different categories of classifying them, such as the evergreen forest, the tropical evergreen forest, the deciduous forest, the semi-deciduous forest. Okay, so these are the various categories in which forests of India are classified. Okay, now what is leading to their deforestation? What is leading to their deforestation? There are multiple reasons, such as the illegal logging and mining activities. Mining, illegal logging, and expansion of the urban ambitions. All right, let's say this is a city. So earlier this was only in this region and there was forest in this region. Okay, outside of this region was there forest. Now what happens as the population keeps on increasing, it encroaches in this area and the forest area reduces. Let's say earlier forest area was this, now it becomes like this. All right, so this reduction takes place. Okay, so this is one of the issues and this leads to the loss of biodiversity. loss of biodiversity, which was located previously in this forest area. Okay, next thing we see that it disrupts the ecosystem and the food chain also. Now let's talk about the conservation efforts. So I already told you about the laws and legislations. There are multiple different projects related to the conservation efforts such as the Project Tiger and Project Elephant. Project Tiger, Project Elephant. Project Tiger is our oldest and most successful project. We have increased the number of tigers by a lot, and we are consecutively doing so in upcoming years also. There are afforestation initiatives like Campa also. Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority. So let's say if you cut 1000 trees somewhere, you must plant another 2000 trees at a different place also. Okay. Recently there have been talks about the climate change also. Just a second. Okay, climate change also. Climate change is a burning topic. The GHG, the global warming, the greenhouse gases, and there is the increment in the temperature, extreme weather events, and India's strategy related to this should also be read, such as what is the mitigation versus the adaptation debate. Mitigation versus the adaptation debate. And India has gone with the adaptation nature of the climate change, dealing with the climate change. Okay. Okay, next thing, let us see about our land degradation and desertification. Land degradation and desertification. So this topic we read in detail in one of our lectures when we talked about the grassland desertification of the grasslands. What we are seeing here is overgrazing, overgrazing, deforestation. Next is poor agricultural practice. This all is leading to the desertification or basically reduction in the fertility of the land. Reduction in the fertility of the land. Okay, next we talk about the impacts of this. So reduced soil fertility affecting agricultural productivity and reduction in the primary sector of India, primary economic sector of India. Okay. Lastly, we talk about the waste management. Waste management. So humans are producing waste every day, and this waste, if not get managed, it cannot be recycled. Cannot be recycled. So there is a concept of the 4R. What is the 4R concept? Refuse, reuse, recycle, and reduce. Reduce means to reduce the overall use, reduce the waste. Refuse means to not purchase new things. Okay. Reuse means to again reuse the new things. And recycle means to always recycle the waste or focus on the recycling of waste. There are, let's say, policies related to this, such as the EPA, Extended Producer Responsibility, EPR. Okay, so whichever whoever is producing the waste in the first place will be responsible to tackle it. Okay, there is Swachh Bharat Mission and multiple other policies. There is also one of the issues known as the human wildlife conflict. So this is also worthwhile. Okay, worth to read. Human wildlife conflict. So this is human, this is wildlife. So they will have a conflict if they go into each other's zone, and human wants to expand and at the same time conserve the wildlife also, but it's not possible unless they are overlapping in each other's area. This is, let's say, forest area, and human is expanding slowly here and there. So when they overlap, what happens? There is human wildlife conflict, because the animals cannot just go back to forest. There is also pressure from different species from here, this side also. Let's say this is lion number 1. So he has pressure from the territory of lion number 2. He cannot just go back in deeper into the forest. Okay, otherwise he will conflict with the line number 2. So what does he better do? He goes into the urban zone and eats the, let's say, have conflict with the people or the animals there. So this is also an issue. Now we have already talked about the environmental laws. So I hope you have gotten an overview of the environment and environmental issues that are going on in India. You can read about them one by one and have a great understanding of the environmental causes, the causes of environmental issues, impacts, and way forward. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you are making notes of all this, and please keep making notes. It will be very useful for you in the future. Thank you very much. See you in the next lecture.